Maximum effort but minimum cash to create a garden from scratch in half an hour on BBC Two after what could be a reputation-breaking university challenge.
University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello, welcome to this special edition of University Challenge. We like to think the British press comes in two halves, with the racy and populist tabloids on the one hand and the weightier broadsheets on the other, or the popular and the unpopular press, I suppose you could say. Tonight, we're delighted that two teams of Britain's finest journalists have agreed to take part in a friendly but no doubt fiercely fought contest to settle the honour of these rival factions. They're going to face 30 minutes of the kind of questions we give to the smartest of the UK's student population. Their writing and their radio and television appearances are known and enjoyed by all of us, but we're still going to ask them to introduce themselves in the time-honoured fashion of this programme. First, a team who between them can boast a readership of 24 million. Let's meet the ladies and gentlemen of the tabloid press.
Hello, my name's Jane Moore and I'm columnist and interviewer with The Sun newspaper.
Hello, my name's Peter Hitchens. I'm columnist with The Express and a full-time reactionary.
And their captain?
I'm Anne Leslie, at least I think I am, because I'm in a state of total amnesia about everything at the moment, and I work for the Daily Mail.
I'm Tony Parsons and I write for The Mirror.
Their opponents represent four of the UK's broadsheet publications with a more modest combined readership of about 7 million. Let's meet them.
I'm Decca Aikenhead and I'm a columnist with The Guardian.
I'm Libby Purvis and I'm a columnist for The Times.
And their captain?
I'm Boris Johnson and I write for the Daily Telegraph and I'm reading for a degree in advanced rotational medicine.
And I'm Richard Ingrams. I'm the editor of The Oldie and I write in The Observer.
Well, the rules are very simple. I'll ask a starter question. You get 10 points if you can answer it. But you must answer it without conferring with your teammates. For each correctly answered starter question, your team then gets a bonus set worth a possible 15 points. If you interrupt a starter question incorrectly, you lose 5 points, and the whole thing's then offered to the opposition. So fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. Originally designed as a treatment for angina and known as UK 92480, which drug, since being granted its American licence in March 19...
Tabloids Parsons.
Viagra?
Viagra is right. Tabloids, you get 3 questions about headlines. In a possibly apocryphal example of finding the local angle to a story, which event of April 1912 had the headline, sub-headline in a Yorkshire paper, Heckman Wykeman aboard?
It's the Titanic.
Sinking of the Titanic is right. A headline to celebrate the 100th anniversary of which political anthem in 1989 read, Good tune, shame about the words.
We're just stabbing in the dark. National anthem.
No, I think that was 18th century. It's the red flag. What completes this headline in a popular tabloid after England under Graham Taylor lost a European Soccer Championship qualifying match to Sweden in June 1992? Swedes to...
Turnip head.
Turnip nil.
Turnip nil.
Turnips won.
Turnips one.
I'll accept that. That's good enough. Right, another starter question. Which American journalist and broadcaster was born in St. Joseph, Missouri in 1916, wrote eyewitness reports of the war in Europe in the 1940s and was considered a national institution when, from 1962 to 1981, he anchored the CBS Evening News?
Tabloids Parsons.
Is it Walter Cronkite?
It is Walter Cronkite, yes. You get 3 questions on presidential affairs, tabloids. Which American president had an affair during World War II with his driver, Kay Summersby, who later wrote a book about it?
Eisenhower.
Correct. Which World War I president had a long relationship with Mary Hulbert Peck, which ended when he became engaged to Edith Balling Galt, his second wife?
Andrew Wilson? Woodrow Wilson, sorry.
Woodrow Wilson is correct. Which president's occupancy of the White House during the 1960s was described by one historian as an era in which Washington valued conquest more than chastity?
JFK. Must be
It must be JFK.
Kennedy.
Yeah.
Kennedy.
No, it wasn't. It was Lyndon Johnson.
Oh.
Move over, honey, it's your president. Here's another starter question. Astarte, the Phoenician goddess of love and fertility, is equivalent to the
Broadsheets Johnson.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. The Babylonian Ishtar, because it's not the right answer, Boris, and is sometimes regarded as the counterpart of which Greek goddess?
Well, Artemis. Which is the same as...
Boris, you've buzzed in already with an
Artemis is... Diana is the Roman name for Artemis.
Yes, I said Greek goddess. Would anyone like to buzz from the tabloids? They may not confer.
Tabloids Hitchens.
Artemis.
No, it's Aphrodite. Right, another starter question. The Mississippi community, originally called Gum Pond, but later renamed after the local Tupelo trees, was in 1935 the birthplace of which...
Tabloids Parsons.
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley's right, yes. Tabloids, you get 3 questions on magazines with pop connections. Lionel Richie topped the charts in 1984 with a song sharing a title with which magazine, whose coverage of couples' happy home lives is said to lead to their marriage breakups?
Well, this is the sort of thing we know. It's Hello, I'm told.
It is. Madonna topped the charts in 1990 with a single that shares its title with which fashion magazine?
Vogue.
Correct. Which group took its name from the French for fast fashion, a phrase found by the vocalist Dave Gahan when thumbing through a French style magazine?
Pret-a-porter?
No, it's Depeche Mode.
Oh, Depeche.
Another starter question. Which term was coined in 1944 by US Congressman Maury Maverick to denote long-winded and unintelligible language used instead of plain English?
Tabloids Leslie.
I think it's wrong. Jargon.
No, anyone like to buzz from the broadsheets?
Broadsheets Purvis.
Gobbledygook.
Absolutely right, yes. You storm ahead to 5, and here are your bonuses, broadsheets. Which Dublin-born artist painted without recognition until 1945 when his 3 studies for figures at the base of a crucifixion completed the year before won him instant notoriety?
Francis Bacon.
It was Francis Bacon. Many of Bacon's early paintings are based on images by other artists, such as his head of a pope, which he gave the screaming mouth of an elderly woman from which Russian film directed by Sergei Eisenstein?
They want a Russian film.
I want the name of the film.
The name of the film.
Well, it's Battleship Potemkin, or what was the other one by Eisenstein?
Ivan the Terrible.
Come on.
Ivan the Terrible.
No, it was the other one. It was Battleship Potemkin. Which actor plays Bacon in the film Love is the Devil?
Derek Jacobi.
Derek Jacobi.
Derek Jacobi is correct. Well done. We're going to take a picture round now. For your starter question, you're going to see a character from a popular comic publication. For 10 points, please name him.
Broadsheets Purvis.
Lord Snooty.
It is Lord Snooty from the Beano. So following on from Lord Snooty, for your bonus questions, you're going to see 3 more characters from comics, 5 points each if you can name them. Here's the first.
Minnie the Minx.
Minnie the Minx is right, Morris. Say it with such authority. And here's the next one. Can you name these?
The Numbskulls.
The Numbskulls is correct. And finally, can you name this?
Plug.
It is Plug from the Bash Street Kids. From the Beano.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
No, it's not over yet, Boris. It's scarcely started. Here's another starter question. What term is used for the direct change of state from a solid to a gas?
Broadsheets Johnson.
Sublimation is right. You get 3 questions on particle physics, broadsheets. In particle physics, what general term is applied to particles which can take part in strong interactions?
What do you think? What do you think?
Electrons. I mean, it could be electrons. It could be
Particles which can take part.
Electrons. Are they particles?
Electrons.
No. Hadrons. The hadrons embrace 2 groups of particles. One is the mesons. Which is the other?
Quarks. Should we say quarks? Let's say quarks. Quarks.
Quarks, no. No, they're baryons. The baryons are not fundamental particles in the true sense, but are made up of how many quarks?
I told you quarks were in there. They can't be there.
What's the answer to the previous question?
But quarks must be part of baryons, because you just said they were. Anyway.
Anyway, do you have any idea about the question? We have to make up a number. 214.
You think it's 214?
How many quarks?
To a baryon.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Libby says 240.
A dozen?
Libby, 240.
240.
No, it's 3. Right, here's another starter question. Which questionable distinction did Switzerland achieve for the 3rd time in 1998?
Broadsheets Johnson.
Oh, no, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, he got Eurovision Song Contest. Didn't do terribly well in.
No, you're going to fine you 5 points for that. And Norway for the 4th time in 1997 when Tor Endresen finished 227 points behind the United Kingdom.
Is that a question?
You may buzz if anyone knows that.
Tabloids more.
They got 0 in the Eurovision
0
Song
votes
Contest.
in the Eurovision Song Contest. You said they did badly. Right, 3 questions on cutting criticism tabloids. Which playwright, actor and songwriter, referring to a play featuring a child actor, said 2 things should be cut, the 2nd act and the child's throat?
Either Wild or Coward. Wild or Coward. Wild or Coward. Wild.
Well, Wild, but I think it's Coward.
No, bad luck, it was Noel Coward.
Yeah, I thought it was
Which monarch gave her opinion of King Lear thus? A strange, horrible business, but I suppose good enough for Shakespeare's day.
Victoria. Victoria.
Was it Victoria? Yeah, it was We're going for Victoria.
It was, yes. Which well-known Victorian librettist described Henry Irving's Hamlet as funny without being vulgar?
Gilbert.
It was W.S. Gilbert. Well done. Here's a starter question. Fingers on the buzzers for 10 points. Being an MP is the sort of job all working-class parents want for their children.
Broadsheets Johnson.
Diane Abbott.
Diane Abbott did say that, yes. You get 3 questions on the Nobel Prize for Literature, Broadsheets. Name the Bengali poet and philosopher who received the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913, the first Asian to do so.
Rabindranath Tagore.
Rabindranath Tagore.
Absolutely right. Which poet was the first Irish recipient of the Nobel Literature Prize, which he received in 1923?
W.B. Yeats.
Correct. What nationality was Haldor Laxness, who in 1955 became his country's first and to date only Nobel Prize-winning novelist and wrote in the style of early sagas?
Haldor Laxness.
Yes.
Haldor, we think he's Icelandic.
He is Icelandic, yes. Only 10 points in it. Possible 10 for this starter question. Fingers on the buzzers. Which unit of measurement expressing the ratio between 2 amounts of electric or acoustic power derives its name from the Scottish-born engineer, inventor and academic, who is Professor of Vocal Physiology at Boston...
Tabloids Leslie.
Watt? From Harriet Watt?
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. Before he constructed his most famous invention in 1876. You may not confer, you may buzz, any of you on the broadsheets if you know. I'll tell you... No? Decibel is what we wanted. Here's another starter question. Which Hebrew term meaning gathering is used for the modern Israeli parliament?
Broadsheets Johnson.
The Knesset.
Knesset is right. Takes you into the lead. What was the occupation of each of the following biblical characters, broadsheets? Rahab, whose house was built into the wall of Jericho, but who was spared when the city was captured.
What did Rahab do? Rahab, he was an innkeeper.
No, she was a prostitute. Demetrius, leader of a group of craftsmen who sold miniatures of the goddess Artemis, but rioted against Paul when it seemed his Christian preaching would threaten their business. Profession there, please, the occupation.
The goldsmith seems to be the view.
No, silversmith, bad luck. According to Luke's Gospel, what was the occupation of Levi, whom Jesus called to follow him, and who held a banquet for Jesus at his house along with others of the same occupation?
He was a tax collector.
Yes, he was a tax collector, yes. Now, about halfway through the contest, we're going to take a music round. For your music starter, you're going to hear an excerpt from a popular song. For 10 points, please tell me the title.
Chapter 1, it didn't really go
Tabloids Parsons.
Every day I write the book.
Yes, by Elvis Costello. Well done. That puts you on level pegging, tabloids. You're now, for your bonuses, going to hear 3 more excerpts from songs, each of them performed by a writer. For 5 points each, name the writer. Here's the first.
When I became captain of the town, I decided to extend asylum to certain citizens who were persona non grata elsewhere in the area because of their disgusting and disquieting performances. One was known as Spare Ass Annie.
Well, basically we haven't a clue. I think it's bad enough to be Norman Mailer, but he thinks it's Captain Beefheart, right?
Stab in the dark.
No, it's a writer we're looking for. No, it's William S. Burroughs performing his story Spare Ass Annie. Here's the second. Can you identify this writer?
You are charged with the crime of excessive indulgence in dance music. How do you plead? Guilty. You show no repentance for these crimes. You leave me no option. I sentence you to a life of dance.
Who wrote the words?
No, is this the writer doing the singing?
No, not necessarily.
There is a writer performing there.
That's right. Well, I'll go for Mailer again, but none of us have a clue.
No, it's Irving Welsh as part of Hebe Nation. Here's the third. Can you identify this writer?
If I were the only girl in the world, and you were the only boy,
I think you're right.
nothing else would matter in the world today.
Well, we think it's Joyce Grenfell.
No, it's Barbara Cartland performing her delightful album of love songs. We'll take another starter question now. Fingers on the buzzers. Which fashion in music and dress originated in Seattle is typified by...
Tabloids Parsons.
Grunge.
Grunge is correct, yes. Takes you into the lead. Here are your bonuses. The 1963 Halsbury Report recommended the adoption of what? An idea that was accepted in 1966 by the British government, although it wasn't to come into force until February 1971.
Is it Europe? It's something to do with Europe, is it with decimalisation?
Or metrication.
Yeah, metrication.
Metrication or decimalisation?
Well, which?
Decimalisation.
Decimalisation.
It is decimalisation, yes. Which Master of the Rolls gave his name to a report of 1963?
Sorry.
You don't have to buzz. Master of the Rolls gave his name to a report of 1963, the result of a judicial inquiry which found that there had been no disclosure of official secrets in the Profumo case.
Denning.
Yeah, you answer.
Lord Denning.
Correct. What name is given to a clause frequently inserted in marine insurance policies to provide cover for a variety of risks that aren't covered by perils at sea?
Is it Act of God?
I think you might be right.
Act of God.
Act of God is the one here.
No, it's known as the Inch Marie clause, apparently. Here's another starter question for you. Which trigonometrical function of angle x is defined as 1 over cosine x? Surely you can work this out.
You're just putting these into
Sine.
torturers.
No, it's secant x. We'll take another starter question. The work of the cartoonist Scott Adams, now shown in over 1,500 newspapers worldwide, concerns which electrical engineer who spends most of his time...
Broadsheets Purvis.
Bart Simpson's father.
No, I'm afraid not. And you lose 5 points. Most of his time with his computer or his pet dog.
Dilbert.
Oh.
Yes, you should have buzzed, but I'll accept it. Dilbert is right, so you get the bonuses then, tabloids. Which American weekly magazine, famed for its humour, was founded in 1925 by Harold Ross?
New Yorker.
The New Yorker is correct. Which Ohio-born cartoonist and author was a staff writer on The New Yorker from 1927 and published a collection of stories entitled My World and Welcome to It?
Thurber.
James Thurber's right. Having joined The New Yorker in 1931, which author, first published in the magazine, wrote the lines, I think that I shall never see a billboard lovely as a tree. Indeed, unless the billboards fall, I'll never see a tree at all.
Oh, I can't remember who did it.
Was it Ogden Nash?
Yeah, it'll be Ogden Nash.
It is Ogden Nash, yes. See if you can get going with this one. Broadsheet started for 10 fingers on the buzzers. The name of which large, black, urban complex in South Africa near Johannesburg is an acronym...
Broadsheets Johnson.
Soweto.
Soweto is right. It's an acronym for Southwest Township. Right, 3 questions on male names used as slang terms for your bonuses, broadsheets. Which male name was originally a slang term for a pickled cucumber or gherkin? It was later used as a pejorative term for a low-ranking, unintelligent police officer and is now used to describe an unintelligent, unsophisticated person, usually male. Come on.
A dork.
No, a wally. Which male name was once used as a slang term for a new recruit at Sandhurst? In the USA, it's a slang expression for the lavatory, and throughout this century, it's been used to describe a prostitute's clients.
John.
John is right. Which name was used in 19th century London as a slang term for a night watchman? It was used by US forces in Vietnam to describe the Viet Cong and has become a slang term for cocaine.
Charlie.
Charlie is right. Another starter question, 100 against 130. 10 points if you can buzz in on this. In 1998, the publishers of the New Oxford Dictionary of English controversially acknowledged which slang expression, which it defined as a term signifying approval of the physical appearance of a member of the opposite sex.
Tabloids Hitchens.
Four.
Four is right, yes.
I can't say.
Right, you get bonuses, tabloids, then on terms used in connection with takeover bids. What term is used for a person or firm that makes a welcome takeover bid for a company on improved terms to replace an unwelcome or hostile bid?
White Knight.
White Knight is right. Which ambitious Shakespearean character gives her name to a strategy where a third party makes a favourable bid, rather like a White Knight, but subsequently changes allegiance and joins the original bidder? Come on.
Say Black Knight.
We don't know.
We don't. We'll say Black Knight.
No, it's a Lady Macbeth. Taken from the little figure on computer games who gobbles up things or people, what term is used in business for a small company which responds to an attempt by a larger one to take it over by launching a bid to take the larger one over itself?
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man is correct. Well done. So that takes you to 150 against the broadsheets 100. Plenty of time left, though, and we're going to take another picture round. You're about to see a still from a film. For 10 points, I'd simply like you to tell me the name of the film.
Broadsheets Johnson.
The front page.
No. You may buzz.
Tabloids Parsons.
The Philadelphia Story.
No, it's His Girl Friday. So we'll take the picture bonuses when someone gets a starter question right. What name appeared above the figure 9 on the giant shirt which briefly adorned Anthony Gormley's statue Angel of the North after a group of...
Tabloids Parsons.
Shearer.
Shearer is correct, so you now get the picture bonuses. Well, as you recall, His Girl Friday was set in a newspaper office. You're going to see 3 more stills from films which feature a particular newspaper. 5 points each if you can tell me both the title of the film and the name of the newspaper it features. Here's the first.
Oh, that's Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
And the name of the newspaper in Citizen Kane?
Examiner.
The Examiner?
No, it's the Inquirer. Here's the second.
Okay, that's All the President's Men and
All the
the
President's
Washington
Men.
Post.
Yeah.
That's correct. And finally, let's have a look at this one.
Ah, that's...
Superman and...
And it
Daily
is
Planet.
The Globe.
That's it, the Planet.
The Planet.
Daily Planet.
The Daily Planet is right, yes. 4¼ minutes to go. Here's another starter question, fingers on the buzzers. In Greek mythology, what was the name of the king of Elis, whose ox stalls housed 3,000...
Broadsheets Johnson.
Orgius.
Orgius is right. You get 3 questions on human rights organisations, broadsheets. Established by the Council of Europe in 1950, the European Court of Human Rights has its headquarters in which city?
Strasbourg.
Correct. Which US social worker, lecturer and First Lady carried the UN Human Rights Commission from 1946 to 51?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Correct. The defence lawyer Peter Benenson was prominent in establishing which human rights organisation founded in London in 1961?
Amnesty.
Amnesty International is correct. 3½ minutes to go, 125, 170. 10 points if you can buzz in correctly with this starter question. What single word refers in art to a painting or sculpture depicting the Virgin Mary holding the dead body of Christ?
Broadsheets Johnson.
Pieta.
Pieta is right. You get 3 questions on modern fiction, broadsheets. Which two-word term derives in part from a type of stove and is applied to novels, usually with a rural setting, which describe the emotional and domestic lives of...
Argosy.
Argosaga.
Argosaga is right. What two-word term denotes a romantic novel with an historical setting, the plot of which features the seduction of the heroine?
Bodice Ripper.
Correct. What three-word term refers to the genre of popular fiction in which characters have an expensive consumer lifestyle and enjoy frequent and varied sexual encounters?
Sex and shopping.
Sex and shopping is correct. 170 against 150. See if you can buzz in on this starter question. Which is the only county of Northern Ireland not to have a border with the Irish Republic?
Broadcheese Johnson.
No.
The one in the lawn.
No, if you buzz in, you've got to answer.
Tabloids Parsons.
Antrim.
Antrim is correct, yes. Which is where Larne is, of course. 3 questions on systems of writing, then, tabloids, for your bonuses. What name, derived in part from the Latin for painted, describes a writing system such as hieroglyphics, in which concepts or words are represented in the form of a sketch or diagram? Come on.
Pictogram?
No, it's a pictographic.
Oh, pictographic.
Syllabaries are writing systems in which each symbol represents a syllable rather than a concept. Which is the only major language using this system today?
Arabic.
What is it?
Come on.
We're going for Arabic.
No, it's Japanese. Thought to be distantly related to Japanese with a similar grammatical structure, which language is written in a phonetic script called Omun, devised in the mid-15th century to replace the Chinese characters previously in use?
I think try Arabic for that.
Come on.
We're caught between Arabic and Korean.
Well, come on, give me an answer.
You make your mind. You're the
Korean.
Korean is right. Right, here's another starter question. In 1924, the town of Simbirsk in western Russia was renamed Ulyanovsk.
Tabloids Hitchens.
on the death of Lenin. Who was born Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov.
Yes, I'll accept that, just about. Of course, you're a former trot, that's how you know that. 3 questions on uncompleted school days. Having run away from Manchester Grammar School and spending some time travelling the country in an impoverished state, which writer's most significant work details the effects of taking opium?
Quincy. De Quincey.
Thomas de Quincey is correct. Which fictional character was expelled from one of England's leading public schools for drunkenness, although his military career culminated in a knighthood and the Victoria Cross?
Flashman.
Correct. Who graduated from Queen's College, Cambridge. Despite his expulsion from Uppingham School, a writer and actor, he made an early television appearance on this programme.
Stephen Fry.
Correct. Here's another starter question. In 1997, of which senior Conservative politician did one of his former junior ministers say he has something of the night about his...
Broadsheet Aikenhead.
Michael Howard.
Michael Howard is right, yes. Of which political parties were the following people appointed Chief Whip in the Commons after the 1997 general election? The Reverend Martin Smith, firstly. Come on.
Ulster Union.
Correct. And that's gone. The broadsheets have 165, the tabloids have 210. Well, broadsheets, you were pretty soundly... I don't know what you were gesticulating for. You were very soundly trounced, I thought. But thank you very, very much for taking part.
Thank you.
You were great sports. Tabloids 210 is a sort of score which would well take you through to the next round of University Challenge. So many congratulations to you, and we can offer you our congratulations as well. So that's all. Thank you for watching. Look forward to seeing you next time. But until then, it's goodbye from the broadsheets.
Bye.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from the tabloids.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
And you can catch the next round this Tuesday at 8 here on BBC Two. Back to you tonight and giving a complete overhaul to a derelict backyard, gardening from scratch, which is next.